James Pethokoukis is an economic policy analyst at the American Enterprise Institute and a CNBC contributor. It's good to have you here. And I think that in some ways these stories are related because it was just a couple of weeks ago we were told, look, the U.S. might be trying to strike a deal with Iran to bring those barrels back or keep them in the market, even as it has to crack down on Russia. Well, now it sounds like the tone is shifting towards more aggressive on both Iran and Russia.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think it's hard to be super positive about Iran. There's going to be these sort of rumors of off ramps, and they're searching for a deal. I kind of look at it like trade until there's an actual deal. I just wouldn't put a lot of confidence in the rumors of the concepts of deals.
Right. So what do you, I guess the point would be to the oil investors, to the gas driving public. Should we expect that things are about to get a little tighter now or not? Because, again, OPEC has indicated they were willing to put some barrels out on the market even before all of this broke out. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem as if, all arrows are pointing towards higher oil prices.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what OPEC does, that's huge. But if you can tell me, I mean, this was a little shocking, the Israeli attack. So if you can tell me the what's happening in Tel Aviv, what Netanyahu is thinking, what's happening in Jerusalem, that I could tell you. I don't know. So I think, listen, we've been in a lot of uncertainty with trade. So now we're sort of in another division of that uncertainty with what's happening with Iran and Israel.
Meanwhile, Jimmy, where are the trade deals? Where's we've had one with the UK. Maybe we're close with Vietnam. Maybe we're close on Japan, although autos are a big hang-up there. Maybe, there's been this back and forth between the U.S. and European officials today. Maybe there's going to be. No, there's not. And we have 3 weeks to go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody outside maybe the president thought these deals were going to be very fast. Maybe you'll get sort of these frameworks, but to get actual deals, historically, it takes a long time, these trade negotiations. And I mean, and I get what's happening at the G7. If I was the Canadian Prime Minister, if I was the British Prime Minister, I too would hope that sort of my personal charm would help get a deal or help extend the timelines, beyond the July 9th timeline. But I think you have to listen to what the president said. And despite his novel sort of gender-inclusive language, as I'm a tariff person, he is a tariff man, and he believes tariffs are important. Tariffs are like the one-fits-all policy to solve what problem? Yeah. To solve the problem of trade deficits, which is the number one thing he's focused on.
Well,
so he loves tariffs, hates
Jimmy.
Trade deficits, and is very angry about the history of the EU and the U.S. So it's going to take a while, and I would keep my expectations low.
So two things. Number one, if you were an ambassador, it'd be to Greece. Jimmy Pethokoukis, of course, so we know that, wonderful place. Let's now re-show, guys, if we can, that big wall with all the G7 representatives. You've got Macron of France. He's been there for a while. But Friedrich Merz of Germany, he's new. Giorgia Meloni of Italy, relatively new. Shigeru Ishiba of Japan, relatively new. Keir Starmer, new. And Mark Carney, brand new, and sort of was in England for like the last 15 to 20 years. What do you make of this group? What is Trump's influence going to be with those people? Because we don't have a track record on any of them except for Macron.
Well, right. We don't have a huge track record, and I think the upside there is that there's sort of no bad blood. There are no sort of grudges that Trump can hold against them. And I think they looked at what Starmer did. I mean, Starmer really, especially after the Zelensky thing, he went in there, was very positive with the president, showed perhaps a roadmap of how you get along. And I'm sure, listen, all those other leaders have paid close attention to that roadmap. But I think ultimately that stuff really only matters at the margins. The president wants tariffs. He views tariffs as a solution, and it's hard to think that at the end of this, without a market or economic reaction to change his opinion, that charm offensives by any of these folks is going to be the deciding factor on what their future trade relations with the United States looks like.